Good morning, people. Mick Ruby live on this. I don't know. It's been 2 weeks since I've been live, but I feel a little bit rusty. But we got a lot of things to talk about regarding the transfer window. Of course, we're going to talk about Chelsea being the opportunities regarding Ganacho. They're valuing Jackson on 80 million, but they want to swoop in for Ganacho for 30 million pounds. That is the disgrace. And I say, Jackson, do a moonwalk. You ain't going to get 80 million for Jackson. Or do they? Chelsea seems to always sell good players. They're so good at selling. We're going to talk about the goalkeeping situation. Of course, we have Fabrizio Romano confirming certain things. Martinez out, Watkins out, but there is a surprise element here. We're talking about one of the world's best goalkeeper, Donnarumma. Where is he going to go? 100% PSG are trying to finalize Lucas Chevalier to be the #1 goalkeeper, and they are open to let him go this summer, either for a sale or loan. Could that be a possibility for Manchester United? Of course, we are definitely linked with Lemons. It's hot topic, Lemons to be the Manchester United goalkeeper. We will see. We'll never know. Is Manchester United kind of packing an Uzi, a secret weapon? Are they going to attack this market, the remaining of the market? Is there something that we don't really know? We're talking about the striker position, of course. Watkins. You know, Villa said blank no to Manchester United and demands 70 million. On the other hand, Manchester United turned away and just say, okay, we're going for Benjamin Cesco. But could it be a master plan that Manchester United originally wanted 2 strikers, one senior one and one junior one? We're going to talk about that as well. And that is what we are going to talk about, this Cesco updates, of course. I got some exclusive information over the night, but there's one thing you should definitely do before we kick on the show. You know what to do? Let's get minimum 100 likes because I haven't been live for quite a while. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you never miss when we go live. Let's do it right here, right now. And good morning to you. Whatever you're drinking, coffee, tea, I don't know, something stronger. I'm having a double espresso as per usual. And let's send this transfer bullet. Send it, Mick.
And Ganacho!
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday? I will be here. Definitely.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go, people. Good morning to you, wherever you are tuning in. Should I say it in multiple language? Guten Morgen, good morgon, salamat pagi in Bahasa, or should I say sabal khair in Arabian as well. How you're doing, let me know in the chat where you're from, where you're tuning in from, and always like to sort of understand where my audience is. Of course, we're going to talk about Fabrizio Romano came over the night exclusively when everyone is sleeping, sneaky dropping updates, and we're going to talk about that one as well. As mentioned, we're going to talk about Chelsea, Ganacho. Chelsea wants Ganacho, but they're not willing to sort of pay. I think I mentioned that in an earlier video about 1 week ago that Chelsea are opportunities, and also Ganacho's agents being a little bit of a bastards in a way that they want sort of the Chelsea move, but they're willing to wait till the end of the window to lower down the price. Well, Manchester United are not going to do that. Manchester United has been firm to say, this is the price we want, and this is the price you're going to pay. Now we're seeing Ben Jacobs is saying that, that Chelsea are evaluating Nicholas Jackson on 80 million pounds, and you know, they're willing to pounce the opportunity for Ganacho for 30 million. Excuse me. I argue to say that Ganacho is the better player than, you know, Jackson. That is a smooth criminal in my opinion as well. Of course, we're going to talk about the goalkeeping situation. Martinez is out. Manchester United will not pay 40 million pounds for Martinez. And Watkins seems to be also out. We're going to talk about Watkins as well. There has been some meltdown within the fan base. Like, who would you pick? Would you go for Cesco or a rather Premier League proven Watkins, 30 years of age? We're going to start a poll regarding that one. But the most important thing is that you actually smash that like button. It's free content. If you want to super chat, get your questions in, and I will sort of proudly, you know, read it out to you. It's not mandatory. This channel doesn't make any money. It's for you to give you the straight facts, what's going on, as close shaved as possible in the transfer window. Before I continue the show, I want to sort of give everyone a massive shout out. Whoever tuned in, big up to you that came in first and foremost. John Connolly was first in the house. Do you think Cesco will happen? John, I leave that to you. I personally believe so. And I will sort of explain to you further down the video. And we're not going to sort of cheat start why I think it will happen. 100%. Mr. Chowdhury in the house as well. Hello, Uncle Mick. Oof, am I so old, uncle? Well, basically, good morning to you guys. I basically woke up early. I'm in Bali at the moment, working holiday. I dropped the members video only so you can understand what I'm doing here. But I woke up early, crack of dawn, 6 a.m. in the morning, had a surf, beautiful surf, did some work, and now I'm actually decided that I'm going to do a live video for you. So big up Jarle Malmin all the way from Norway. You say, I get Watkins. You want Watkins, yeah? We know he can deliver. Cesco is unknown, can be a massive flop like Rasmus, so let Newcastle get him. 2 to 3 years later, we go and take Cesco from Newcastle if he is a success. Well, this is where I'm not agreeing with you, Jarle. I get what you're saying. We want ready-made players that come in now and take us to the glory land, to the promised land. But what happens in 2-3 years now? You know, we have another problem, what we used to have, aging legs, like 30 years. You can maximum get 3 years out of Watkins, right? Sure, he will come in and score you 16 goals, 17 goals. In matter of fact, if you compare the stats regarding Cesco and Watkins, you know, Watkins scored 16 goals last season and Benjamin Cesco 13. That's 3 minus goals less. And there's an age gap difference between 6 years. And on the other hand, Cesco was played in a very poor position. He playing out of position in a very poor side with RB Leipzig last season as well. So that kind of explains. But I do understand what you're saying, you know, but is it going to be a flop? He's got a very high ceiling. He's a complete striker package. And the one that we need to sort of mention here is Christopher Vivell. You know, Christopher Vivell, Jarle, 100% was scouting, and he was the one that brought him in 2018 to the RB Salzburg group, right? So Christopher Vivell is at the helm in here. He's been pushing massively to say that this is not going to be a risk. And by the way, if we are talking about risk, has everyone thought that we have already recruited in Premier League proven players? Now we have Cunha, we have Umbuemo, we have Bruno behind. And it doesn't really hurt then if you have a little bit less experienced striker up front. And even to argue that argument, Jarle, is to say that Manchester United were willing to pay 80 million quid for Hugo Etiquette. So that doesn't really make sense. But I do understand the notion, and I do want to continue. However, I would do create a poll regarding this one as well. We will not compete for the titles this year. Who knows? Who knows? You know, even if you look at Liverpool, they did Galacticos signings. But Galacticos signings, if you look at Real Madrid, didn't click in either. You have to take in consideration that these players that come into the Liverpool side, they need to gel. They need to be like, you know, adapt to the league as well. And I agree what you say. We will try to get Europe. We're not in a 3-year plan, so we just need Europe and Watkins to deliver us that. I do understand that. But we haven't really kicked on the Premier League season, and that's what I said. Is Manchester United kind of packing an Uzi at the moment, starting to deliver things that we don't really know about? We are going to get a goalkeeper. We're going to get a midfielder, since we are offloading Toby Collier to make way for a very important midfielder. That's we don't really know, right? We know that Edison is there on the list. We know that we are looking at Xavi Guerra from Valencia as well. So this is very important moments now where we are actually seeing Ganacho going out the door. We're seeing potentially Anthony going to the Saudi League, and actually Rashford leaving. So, and Sancho, where is he going to go? We're going to talk about Sancho as well anyway. So yeah, let's talk about this a little bit later. I just want to give everyone a little bit of shout out, but good start of the show. We're starting to warm up. Stretch your arms and legs, pin back your ears, whatever you're drinking. Cheers. I'm having a double shot of espresso. Good morning, Ondong. Good morning to you. How are you doing? RG in the house. Peace. What you saying here? Peace and blessings, everyone. And that calm settings comes from RJ. Big up, RJ. Peace and all love to you as well. RJ, what you're saying here, continue. I really hope Donnarumma rumors are true. Well, let's dive right into the story. We have John in the house as well. Book of John. In 2 to 3 years, the amazing Cesco will be worth 150 to 200 million. And that I want to applaud you, my good old John. That is the way I see it, and that I see that Ineos is trying to look at it. Just pause for a second and use your common sense and reasoning. Go back to Sir Jim Ratcliffe's first interview where he said, we are not going to buy the Mbappes. We are going to create the next Mbappes. And that has always been the line, right? Why did we go for the Liam Delap, a 22-year-old as well, as plan A? All right? Why? I'll leave you to it anyway. RG's continues to say, yes, I'm leaning towards Cesco a bit because the thought of him is going to berserk at Newcastle and maybe become crazy expensive. Yes. Locker 45, good morning to you. Good morning, Locker 45. Chowdhury's in the house. Hey, Mick. Who's looking related possibly Cesco or Watkins? Let's keep this one. Let's continue with the show. I just want to sort of shout everyone out. It's kind of my duty to see what we have here. Donnarummers. I love that one. Oh, that's a big one, RJ. Big up for contributing to the humor this morning. Guys, if you're commuting, if you're sitting at work, please lower down, put your headsets on them, and look over your shoulder if your boss is looking, because I don't want to be the reason that you're actually getting let go of work, and I don't want to be the reason that you're having a traffic accident if you're sitting in your car. So keep your hands on the steering wheel and listen carefully as well. Anyway, Frankie, good morning to you as well. Frankie boy, how you doing? Good morning to you. Ian McDonald, legend in the house. Big up. Been a while since I called you on the live streams. Yes, it has been a while. It's been like two and a half weeks. Hoping you get Cesco. It's good to be back. I'm a little bit rusty. Was a little bit nervous, to be honest, right? But if you remember, I dropped a member video to sort of say why I haven't been live. Anyway, Ali is in the house, a name that I haven't seen before. It's Fabrizio joining you the show today. No. It's basically we're going to display what Fabrizio is saying, right? I don't have the money to pay Fabrizio. He's very expensive. He earns a lot of money, approximately 1 million just on posting on Twitter, and he charges about 700 euros per show. So I don't have the privilege, but I can do screenshot what he said, and we will play his videos, right? Kira Fitness and Dance. Wow, big up. Wow, we have fitness and dance. We have moves that Jagger. We have moved that Jaggers. Well done. Nice job. Thank you. SDL in the house to say big up. Woohoo, Mick. I think your Mac gets touching your necklace, making a tapping sound every time you move. Okay, we have dance and fitness and dance. Maybe I shouldn't dance then. Yes, this necklace is a little bit like, animals. Like I love my animals. I would sort of tuck it inside, slowly like that. Don't let it touch. Gently. Anyway, thank you for notifying me this as well. I don't have control, so you guys are my moderators. You guys are letting me know how this sounds and everything else. Kelechi, good morning to you. Thumbs up to you, wherever you are in the world. We have another name here, Tochukuvu. Sorry if I slaughter your name. Mick Ruby, the only one that gives me hope, and Cesco, big up, man. Listen, at the end of this is the transfer window. We just report on the current events. What a lot of people are trying to sort of say that, well, you said it was 100%. No, listen, on the current events in the transfer market, anything can happen, right? So if I look up in the sky today, I don't make the weather. I just report on the weather. On the forecast, it looks promising with the, cloudy, and suddenly it can become the worst thunderstorm and lightnings. And, don't click me on this. It's basically like, I'm just reporting on the current events and sharing the information with the community. John O'Connell is saying, if we sign Watkins, then there is a 3 years we have to spend another 70, 80 million. True. And that is kind of no resale value, in my opinion, right? So, yes, we've done a stopgap. We have a Premier League proven striker, potentially give us 15 goals. But who's to say that Cesco cannot give you that as well? And a longevity. We give him a 5 years contract for Cesco. By the time he's 28, if he killed it in the Premier League, as what somebody said earlier, he'd be worth 100, 150 million, and then you sell him on. Maybe Real Madrid will buy him. Maybe some top clubs will go in for him. And this is the way I think they're thinking and singing. Richie in the house. Morning, bro. Richie, good morning, Macintosh. God, I remember having my first computer was a Macintosh, but now they're called Apple, Richie. Morning to you, bro. What I prefer... what's up? I prefer Cesco over Watkins due to age because if you buy old, you buy twice, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe will not sanction that, of course. I kind of misread it. Sir Jim Ratcliffe will not do that. One love, brother. Thank you so much, brother. I kind of agree what you're saying here, and that is kind of repeating the mistakes from the past. And this is something that Ruben Amorim has said in numerous interviews and match previews and stuff like that. We're not going to repeat the mistakes from the past. We get an aging player, and then we give him important salaries. And if it doesn't work, I look at Watkins' injury records. It's not that big. It's very good, but I don't see him last more than 3 years. If you give him a 5-year contract, then you're stuck on it. Then we have an agent Mata. We have another Casemiro situation. And this is something that I don't want the club to do. But it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day, guys. Like, we know we need a striker that can score your goals. But at the same time, you look at the entire squad. We recruited Mbuemo for a certain reason, Cunha to provide goals. We have Ahmad that can provide goals. We have even Bruno Fernandes playing deeper, right? And the midfield of Ugarte, all of a sudden we have 6 players that can press up front and servicing the striker. And I want to say that the outputs of Benjamin Cesco is much better. The high ceiling threshold is much higher, right? So for me, he's very good in the air, something that Watkins is not, right? He's a monster in the air if we're talking about Cesco, 100%. And another thing is that I want to mention as well, that he's definitely a Ruben Amorim system player striker. Now, of course, you look at the media, they want to sort of go for the English striker, the obsession of the English striker. I get that, right? And majority of the fan channels also wants the Premier League proven right here, right now. Giving it to now. We want to succeed now. But a lot of people not thinking of the longevity and the problems they erase with it. And I get it in the past that we were burned with Rasmus Højlund, that we did get the up-and-coming striker, and it didn't work. But in that system, it was never meant to be that Rasmus was supposed to play a lone striker. We were always looking to get, Harry Kane that summer and Rasmus Højlund as a development striker. But we know what happened. It didn't work out. So what is this to say now that Ruben Amorim thought about it to add more goals to the squad? Mbuemo, Cunha, there's Premier League proven for you, right? This is the way I'm thinking. Even John Enburn in the house. Folks, smash the like button. Help Mick and the channel. Thank you, Johnny boy. How are you doing? Let me see what we have here. Let's not be another nonsense saga. No, let's not. Really. Peter Lufka is in the house. Lekia. I love Man United is doing this window, and I have the feeling we are going to be a surprise this coming season. Funny, I have a little butterflies in my stomach as well, Peter, to say the same, right? We've been a little bit slow off the block, but the main priority was to get the 2 number 10s over the line first. That was the main priority. And then attack the striker, midfield, and goalkeeper. So that's what I say. Is Manchester United packing a secret weapon here? Like, are they packing a woozy? Because they've done the planning, they've done everything, they know who the targets are. And we are definitely now in for the Cesco, right? We had numerous conversations. We're going to talk about that as well. But let's add Fabrizio Romano to the stage. We have Red Devils United. Richie in the house. Big up Cesco. Good mid, long-term signing. I believe so. Guys, go check out this channel. A brilliant colleague of mine. We're talking about Richie here. Red Devils United. Big up to you. Thomas Vegenes all the way from Sweden. If United can get Cesco, it's about insanely bad. I don't want Watkins to get another midfielder instead. That's what a lot of people are saying. Like, if we can't get a sort of a good striker, go for a midfielder. But we do have money. We've been hiding money under the mattress for some reason, Thomas. And we've been going out with a clear message, like, poor me, poor Man United, we don't have money, leaking out to the press. But suddenly we see that pouncing into bid for, clearly reported that we were sort of coming with a late bid for both, Gyökeres and also Etiquette Hugo, right? So we do have money. And I've been saying that, listen, if we do have 120 million before sales to spend, surely we can afford this. And I tell you why. It's called amortization, people, right? 15 million first installment for Cunha, another 10 million for Mbuemo. And then you definitely have room to play. You have 120 million to do the deals and amortization before sales. And that's probably why Manchester United are kind of pouncing now. They're feeling confident that something is happening in the background, that we are getting offloading all these deadwood players that we don't want. We're talking about Ganacho off. We're talking about definitely Sancho off. And who else is there left to go? Of course, we're talking about Anthony Dos Santos, right? So that is going to be very interesting to follow as well. Adri in the house. Good day, Mick. Cesco would be a great addition, but if at the end we get Watkins, is all right too. Emi Martinez, you can cross out. We're not going to in for Watkins, Ganacho, and plus 10 million will be a good deal for both of them. But I did a post about this yesterday, and I did that post that I trolled Richie yesterday as well in his channel, in Red Devils United's channel as well. I told him, and I said, like, hypothetically speaking, Richie, what if Manchester United are planning a plot here to go for both Watkins to sort of lower down the price to 40 million and get and Cesco, right? So Watkins to be the stopgap while actually Cesco is developing, zero pressure on Cesco. Because if you look at the plan, that was always been the plan since we recruited Ganacho, right? No, not Ganacho, sorry, Højlund. That summer we were looking at to get, guess who? Harry Kane and, Ganacho. Not Ganacho. Stop it, Mick. Stop saying Ganacho. Højlund. And this summer there was a plan A and plan B. And the plan A was to, if we got Champions League money, we were looking to get Gyökeres in and another striker, which was Leon Delap. Now that didn't happen. So here we are. So I wouldn't surprise that there's some secrecy involved that they're thinking that way. But at the end of the day, longevity, I think it's going to be Cesco. Anyway, guys, let's jump right into the story and let's welcome Fabrizio Romano. Not that I paid Fabrizio. I can't afford it, Fabrizio. Sorry. Hey, basta. Let's see what Fabrizio dropped the bombshell of the morning. And compared to my notes, because I posted this a couple of days ago regarding the importance of Vivell, reporting what's going on. And I do have some information because I'm dealing straight with the agency camp. And, I trust the sources that I'm getting, but I'm also cross-checking. And it feels great that the beacon of transfer himself is coming out to say that this is the case. So let's listen to what Mr. Fabrizio Romano has to say. Let's kick off the show with Fabrizio Romano, shall we? The one that you've been waiting on. 20 minutes into the stream, and please like this free content. Minimum 100 like, and then we will start a poll. Let's go.
As always, to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today, guys, many things to mention as usual. Today we have to mention many goalkeepers, but also more to say on Garnacho, on the situation of Hato, Šeško, and so let's jump into it.
Let's jump. Yo, Fabrizio. Let's go.
This conversation is underway. But why Chevalier? Because PSG are still...
Okay, now we're talking about the goalkeeper and the PSG and the Chevalier situation and Donnarumma. Now pay attention to this one because I think there will be a surprise element here with Donnarumma. Let's go, Fabrizio.
Not able to reach an agreement with Gianluigi Donnarumma over new contract. And this contract, his current one, expires in summer 2026, so in June next year. What does it mean? That for PSG, the strategy is clear. Sign Chevalier, and then see what happens with Donnarumma. If they can extend Donnarumma, fantastic news.
And that's exactly what Manchester United are kind of similar trying to do. Sign a goalkeeper. Either it's going to be a senior one or more junior one like Lemons, right? And phase out Onana, force him out, right? Like, why are they going for Chevalier? Because, hey, Donnarumma has got 1 year left on his contract.
Otherwise, if they can't extend Donnarumma, they will try to find a solution for this summer. But at the moment, I'm told nothing can close, nothing is imminent. Many rumors on Galatasaray. I'm told Donnarumma is not negotiating with Galatasaray at this stage. Many rumors on other clubs, but at the moment is very quiet. Despite links with Chelsea, Chelsea are not working on a deal for Donnarumma.
Chelsea not needing a goalkeeper. Manchester United need a goalkeeper.
Now, at least for this summer. Also, let me say, the agent of Donnarumma doesn't need to offer Donnarumma around. Today I see some reports on Donnarumma being offered to Manchester United, being offered to Manchester City. You don't have to offer a player like Donnarumma.
No, you're right there, Fabrizio. You don't have to. Donnarumma sells himself, right? Champions League winner. Wow. Come on, man.
The best goalkeepers in the world, if not the best. And so this is not the case. It's just about opportunities. If they find the right opportunity, well, Donnarumma can go this summer with PSG signing Chevalier.
Wow. Yeah, Donnarumma can go this summer for the right opportunity if they sign Chevalier. Could it be that Manchester United that has good relationship with PSG to say, okay, we can take him on a loan? I mean, that was so brilliant. But 1 year left on his contract, and him, Donnarumma, kicking up a stink, demanding a transfer request. Could there be an opportunity for Manchester United to sort of pounce in and get him for a cheaper price? I'll let you decide as well.
Otherwise, they can stay in the same team. Donnarumma already faced the competition of Keylor Navas at the beginning of his career at Paris Saint-Germain. So he's not scared about that. Let's see what's going to happen with Chevalier. And eventually he can leave. Keep an eye on this one as a free agent in 2026.
So he can leave as a free agent in 2026. What a bargain opportunity for anyone that's looking for a goalkeeper. Here we have been looking at Emi Martinez that Villa is demanding 40 million for. I say walk away. He's not he's an upgrade on Onana, right? Just because he had a sort of good World Cup, he hasn't been that great, right? It's pretty much his agent trying to push a move away. And then you got to ask yourself, why are you leaving? Why don't you want to stay at Aston Villa? Is it is sort of falling ship at the moment? And then we're looking at definitely, we've been looking at many goalkeepers. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic is now going to Napoli by the sounds of it. And then we have 7 Le Mans, that been heavily scouted for at least 1 year. We mentioned on this channel like months ago, me and Jarvis as well did a scouting report on it. And that is something that you can get for 15 million euros to 70 million euros. And he, in my opinion, is the next up-and-coming Chevalier or Donnarumma, right? But he's already the Europe's top leading shot stopper in the world. And he's only like, what, 24 years of age, 22, 24? But Donnarumma, for me, wow, that is class, guys. I want to hear from you guys. What are you think? Do you see that since we are kind of coming to the end of the window with this, the window of opportunity that everyone is now aware, who's looking for a goalkeeper at the moment? Manchester United are looking for a goalkeeper. I don't know anyone other club that is kind of looking for a goalkeeper at the moment, but could it be that Man United could sort of approach them with the links of Christopher Vivell to say, listen, what about a loan if you're getting Chevalier? Because you don't want that situation that you have two number one goalkeepers rubbing against each other, creating the friction, right? Certainly Donnarumma wants to play every single game. Chevalier is also a world-class goalkeeper, wants to play every single game. We used to have that situation. We had David De Gea, and we recruited, what was his name? Oh, God, I forget it. We have two fantastic goalkeepers which was sort of rubbing each other, and it was a big mistake, right? So could that be an opportunity for Manchester United either to say, listen, we will help you. Like, we don't want you to sort of create the friction. Like, we will take Donnarumma for 1 year loan with with an option to buy, or, obligation to buy. That is something that is smart. I don't know. I'm just speculating because so far Fabrizio Romano hasn't really said, he said basically here what he said, he will leave in the summer, potentially, or he will stay there to fight it out. But why would PSG go in and buy a better goalkeeper than Donnarumma and keep him on the bench? I don't know. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Let's continue, Fabrizio.
If they can't find a solution now. So the Donnarumma situation is going to be an interesting one, with PSG preparing the future with Luca Chevalier. It's quite clear. First step.
Now we're going to talk about Ganacho, right? This is what I mentioned. I find Chelsea an interesting case study, right? For some reason, I don't know, they seem to have sports washing with. I'm sorry if you are a Chelsea fan listening, but if you look at the track record in selling to Saudi, I don't know, and PF being one of the sponsorship, I don't know, there's something fishy going on. But they are brilliant, at least demanding high fees for the players, like Madueke 55 million, and then here you go, they're evaluating Jackson and 80 million, and basically they want 30 million, want to offer 30 million for Ganacho. But I just feel very, very appalling regarding the situation and what's going on. Fabrizio, talk to us regarding Ganacho. What's going on?
Go for Xavi Simons, negotiations advanced with Leipzig, and then second step, consider Garnacho as an opportunity for the final weeks of the window. So that's the point for Chelsea, but this is two separate topics. It's not one of the other at the moment. Then let's see if some other club will jump in for Garnacho, because Garnacho obviously doesn't have only Chelsea, more suitors, more clubs interested. Then on Benjamin Šeško, guys, many questions from you on the reports overnight about Newcastle. Ready to be the Newcastle, ready to do this, that. Guys.
And this is exactly, he is kind of richer in the same information that I got from the Cesco agency camp as well. Before he reads out, I'm just going to sort of tell you my updated source, what I got. So I just have to go into my WhatsApp messages. Hang on a second, bear with me. But while I'm sort of digging this out, guys, please do not forget to hit that like button. Minimum 100 likes in this chat as well. Good morning to you. And let me see. So many messages, Jesus Christ. Yes, so basically, if you follow me on my Twitter timeline, like now everyone is starting to report, even Fabrizio Romano, that Christopher Vivell is key. Like I mentioned this over 2 weeks ago. And even that, remember when we had our first friendly game at the start of the pre-season when we played in Stockholm? That week, you had Omar Barada meeting up with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Wilcox in Reykjavik, Iceland, to discuss the trigger to say, let's move forward, right? This was the catalyst when we actually got the news that Marcus Rashford was out of the door. This how it started with Benjamin Cesco, basically. And on the other hand, back in in Madrid, same week, Christopher Vivell with some Manchester United intermediates met up with Elvis Bosanovic, which is Cesco's agent, to discuss the condition of the deal, right? So this conversation has been going on for quite a while, and Vivell has excellent relationship with his agent, and of course, we're going to talk about that later on with Benjamin Cesco himself. So there's an update that Vivell is kind of being the instrument in this. He's pushing very hard for Cesco, and he is sort of convincing the board that Cesco is the right striker choice for the longevity, and the board, and he's kind of convinced the board. While the board has also been putting, like, Watkins as a potential there, like, and as of what my understanding is that, of course, Newcastle are pushing hard. Newcastle have presented the overall vision and the salary package, but also waiting for the green light, because Cesco needs to give the green light before they can even agree personal terms and then go to speak to RBL. Now, of course, they are desperate. Zebra Crossing are desperate. They've been losing out a lot of targets. They know they're going to lose out on, Alexander Isak. So they're willing to throw abundance of money. They're willing, if Cesco gives the green light, they're willing to sort of outrace Manchester United to put more on the table what actually RB Leipzig is, just to secure the player. So it comes down to that Benjamin Cesco has not made his final decision yet, and of course Manchester United have presented weeks ago, and with discussions between Benjamin Cesco and Christopher Vivell and Wilcox, they presented the vision. They said, you're going to be the main man. This is what's going on. We have the project Rejuvenation. We have the stadium, and you're going to be there where the stadium has been built. You're going to be leading the line for many years to come. You're going to play for the biggest club in the world. Look, this is our vision. This is a project. We've got Premier League proven players. We have Mbeumo, Cunha. You're going to be the main man playing in the middle. And that's what it is, So RB Leipzig, as well as a club, have given the green light for the clubs to talk directly to the Cesco and agency camp. And Cesco is now, according to what I'm hearing from Elvis Bosanovic, and his agency is very impressed what Manchester United have been presented by Vivell and Jason Wilcox. There is a massive trust, basically, between Wilcox and Cesco. The bond is very strong. Remember that Vivell was the one that scouted him back in 2018 and took him to RB Group, to Salzburg. So he's been developing, and he's been basically saying to the board, this guy has high ceiling. Trust me on this one. I'm the recruitment director, and I'm the one that bring you talent. Will you trust me? And of course, they have listened to him, and that's why you've seen the Manchester United have pounced in right now, right here. So the race is on, but advantage United due to Christopher Vivell. So Newcastle at the moment, they're very aware of this. They're very scared, and therefore they have prepared a plan B. And you wouldn't believe it when I say it. The plan B is to go for Ollie Watkins and also Jackson. So they are pretty much going on the same desperation mode and getting the right strikers in. And that is what I have to say before we listen to Fabrizio Romano. And listen, it makes sense, right? If I say so, why would you go to Newcastle, right? There's nothing to do in Newcastle. Why are players abandoning Newcastle at the moment? And even if they are going to offer Cesco, Newcastle, big wages, which they can't really afford at the moment either. They couldn't even afford Isak to give him a pay rise either. So why is Isak leaving? Why did they fail to land on Mbeumo or Cunha and all that stuff? This is due diligence that the agent that play are doing. And they're looking at, yep, Manchester United is a big club. And this is what I favor as a player. I've been told that he wants to join a big project. He wants to be the face out of Manchester United. And I think this decision, if Man United put a bid in, or he gives the green light to Manchester United, the strategy of Manchester United is to convince the player and the agent to say, I only want to play for Manchester United. Like we did with Cunha, like what we did with Mbeumo. And that ladies and gentlemen, eliminates Newcastle of the race. So that means the Manchester United have one-sided, it's not a double-sided road, it's just one-way traffic, straight directed negotiation with RBL Group, and you have Christopher Vivell that knows every single person inside it. Get great relationship, and I'm sure that we can strike a deal lesser than what they actually want. Because why? Well, we know that they wanted to sort of they needed to raise 100 million because they were in a little bit of financial trouble. Now we are seeing that Chelsea is advancing for Xavi Simons, and the price will be 70 million. So if they needed to raise 100 million and Xavi Simons comes in before Cesco goes, that means that RB Leipzig are more relaxed and can renegotiate the actually demand price. We've seen that they want lower down the gentleman's agreement on 60 million pounds plus a couple of add-ons, 5 to 10 add-ons. But I believe that Man United could get it down at the end of the window if Xavi Simons goes to Chelsea to 50-55 million in smart negotiations, if you're eliminating Newcastle. The worst case scenario, if Newcastle comes in and they create a bidding war, that is the worst case scenario, because Manchester United cannot throw that big money on top of that. What if they get the Alexander Isak deal? But so far they haven't got the Alexander Isak deal, so they are kind of taking a risk here. This is what we want to do. This is kind of, I owe you letter. I don't have the money as of yet, but I'm willing to get the striker desperately. So it's like the analogy, if I continue on the rant, I kept saying that, I said it in the video, but I like what I said in that video. It's like Newcastle is being one of the suitors going into a nightclub or a bar. It stands there by the bar, and in comes, Cesco. Let's say Cesco is a beautiful lady. And Newcastle is starting to whining and dining, chatting her up, buying drinks after drinks, sex on the beach, margaritas, you name it, just to get her drunk and woozy, sort of to convince her to go home with him in a taxi, for a nightcap. But what happens is that the final hours before closing time, the groom, the main big guy, the flex muscles comes in, the biggest club in the world, the biggest six-pack in the world, Manchester United. Mr. Manchester United walks into the bar, spots Newcastle, spots this beautiful lady, and just comes in like, hello, baby. Hello, darling. How you doing? Are you right there? Okay. Do you want champagne? You want some caviar? All right. Okay, closing time, bell rings, and it goes like, bugger off, mate. Listen, lady, do you want to get a Uber with this guy, or do you want to get in a limousine with me? And who you think, what's going to happen there? Of course, the lady's going to go in with the limousine, caviar, and the champagne, and after you go. The rest is history. Anyway, that's a solid, Mick Ruby analogy. Hope you enjoy this story. But before I continue, Fabrizio Romano, have your say.
So Newcastle, I keep saying what I told you days ago. If Benjamin Šeško decides to go to Newcastle, Newcastle are ready to pay whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Whatever you want. Money doesn't always solve problems, right? You can't throw the money in, hopefully. What's going on here? You have to sort of convince the player first, and then you throw money at it, right?
They know the conditions of the deal, so they don't need even to negotiate with Leipzig. They are ready to go and pay what Leipzig want. They are ready to go and pay what Šeško want. They are ready to go and pay whatever Šeško camp want. So they know everything about the deal. Newcastle started working on this one last week. So Newcastle are ready for Benjamin Šeško any moment. But this depends on the player.
Last week. Before that, they were after Cunha. They were after Umwemo. They were after Hugo Etiquette. They missed everything. It's like the zebra crossing. Everyone has been walked over. And Humble Pie, if they get walked over here again, the fan base is going to be furious.
It's the player who has to say, okay, I want to come. In that case, Newcastle are ready. Then there is Manchester United. Don't forget Manchester United, because Man United keep working on the Šeško.
That's what I said. The big groom, the big boss coming in 5 minutes before closing time. Newcastle's been buying cheap drinks and cocktails for the beautiful lady. Manchester United will swoop in and take her home in a limousine.
In contact with people close to the player, ready to speak also to Leipzig. So they are still working on the Šeško deal at Manchester United. And so it's not only Newcastle. Newcastle are very ready. Man United need to understand if they can be ready or not. This is also on the player. The player can decide any moment to go to Newcastle or maybe to wait for Man United.
It's that song, ready or not, here I come, you can hide, you're gonna find me. Yeah, sorry, breaking out song. I'm positive today.
Let's see what's gonna happen. Obviously, Šeško is gonna take his time. It's not something very imminent in terms of hours, so probably it's gonna take some days. to decide what he wants to do, but for sure, Benjamin Šeško remains a big topic of this window.
So it's going to be a big topic. I mean, this is the transfer saga of this window. This is the even better than the Gyökeres saga that kept dragging on and on, because this is going to be a bidding war in a way, but this is coming down to what the player wants, right? Definitely. Ismael, I see that you're a Barca fan. Big up to you. We have Barcelona fans in the house. Stop ruining players' career, Man United clown. Speak about your own club. You can't even register players. Thank you for your contribution. Big up to you find this channel. Interesting take. And thank you for taking Rashford, off a wage bill. Thank you so much, Ismail. If you are a Barca fan anyway. I think we get Cesco anyway. Guys, Robin Farrett's in the house as well. Cesco would be an advantage, especially with his strength and heading and physical presence. Anyway, guys, let's start a poll regarding this one. I think it's very interesting. Now that we're listening to everything that's been said and done, I want to create a poll because it's been becoming a little bit fast within the social media community. It's becoming like Cesco camp versus Watkins camp, and beggars cannot be choosers. That's what I said. Hey, I want them both. I'm kidding. I want them both. Give him both. But either way, any one of them will be an upgrade for what currently got, right? But what's this to say that Rasmus Højlund cannot be successful with Cunha and Mbeumo and Bruno behind them, right? The problem with that is that potentially, if we get one striker in, then I don't see Højlund leaving. But if we get two strikers in, let's say, like if we play with the fantasy that Manchester United might get both Watkins and Cesco, then of course that means that Rasmus has to go. Anyway, let's start a poll. And it's going to be a very simple poll. Let's close this shop as well. We have 63 likes, people. Thank you so much. Can we get minimum 38 more on this video, this morning video, since I haven't been liked? I'm going to end this poll. Thank you much. Have you smashed a like? We had 3 options, and shame on you. 84 says, yes, I've smashed a like. 10% are thinking about it. And 7% we have haters in the house saying, I don't like this channel, not worth it, 7%. So we do have haters looking. Anyway, I don't really care. I'm here to cater towards the one that likes Manchester United anyway, and that likes this channel and content. I can't convince anyone to like me anyway. I'm not here for popularity contents. Let's connect a poll. Let's start a poll because I like to do this. And it's going to be a simple one based on what you hear in terms of valuation, like, who, it's just like, how do I say, who would you pick as a number 9 for the Amorim project? So it's very simple. Who would you pick as number 9 for Amorim's rebuild project, right? Let's call it rebuild project. Rebuild. It's very simple. Like, you just do Watkins or Cesco. Okay, bombs away, polls away, get involved. We have about 700 people, 715 people tuning in live. Can we have as many engagements as possible? This is going to be very interesting. The poll was ticking, and so far Cesco is leaving on 90%, guys, 90%. Let's dive back into it. And I want to sort of mention this. This is very important, guys. This is very important. Christopher Vivell. This is the man that's going to land Cesco for Manchester United. They have excellent relationship, as mentioned before, right? He's the one that scouted him from Damson in Slovenia, brought him into RB Salzburg group, developed him, followed his career, got him the move to RB, the mother club, RB Leipzig. But in the meantime, Man United were looking at Cesco as well. Eva Records for 2018 was scouting him 100%. They were offering him. Elvis Bosanic made multiple visits. And why Cesco came to the likes of Arsenal is because that January window, Cesco's agent did the tours. He visited Chelsea, he visited Manchester United, visited Arsenal. And Man United back in January said, we're not really looking for a striker this January window. We are more going to focus on rebuilding Ruben and Amarin squad in this summer. The only one that got like, you know, a soundbite was Arsenal to say, yeah, we are willing. So they agreed personal terms with Arsenal back in January. But however, Cesco said like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. We have a gentleman's agreement that I'm going to stay with RB Group, right? And I'm going to go leave in this summer. So he got absolutely played by Andrea Berta, 100%, because Berta played him versus Gyökeres, but at the end of the day walked away from the RB Group because he was deemed to be very impossible to do the deal, because Arsenal only had a budget on 70 million to make euros then, but RB Leipzig wanted 80 million. Now, it's obviously now that RB Leipzig need to sort of offload the player, right? They need to sort of generate 100 million because they're not in Europa League. And Benjamin Cesco said, I'm not really fussed to play in Europa League. I'm not going to even play. If I stay with RB Leipzig, I'm not going to even play in Champions League or Europa League. So that's what it is, right? Now, certainly this relationship versus Newcastle, again, is what I mentioned before, the analogy of the fable of the bar situation, when Newcastle minus Vivell is trying to chat him up. You know, it's like having Shrek versus Prince Handsome, right? If you look in the cartoons, where Mr. Prince Handsome is actually Vivell. So, who do you think gonna win, right? Who do you think? You know, Vivell is telling, you know, Cesco's son, stick with me. You know, you're gonna elevate your career at Manchester United. This is the next level, what you've been dreaming of. We've been talking about your development plan ever since I brought you into the RBL group. But now, son, I am with another club. I am with a bigger club than RBL. Forget about Newcastle. Just come out and say you only want to play for us, and that's it, and we will sort out the rest. And that is what's going on behind the scenes, right? So Newcastle, we can try. They can try. They can huff and puff. Like, it's like being the big bad wolf and try to get the piglets out the house. You can huff and puff, and you can say, I want to throw as much money as much as possible. But that's not really the way it's going to work if the player doesn't really want you. You know, surely, like, you know, if he says yes to Newcastle, kudos, right? And then they can go in and do personal terms. But I've been told behind the scenes that his preference is to join Manchester United, and it's been on his radar for many, many years. It happened to be that he said yes to Arsenal back in January because that was the only Premier League club that sort of went in for him. And his passion and objective is to play in the Premier League. Sure, you can argue to the point that Watkins can be the one that could sort of give us instant success, and then what? And then what? Then we have the same problem with Juan Mata, with Christian Eriksen. We did the same thing. We got in Eriksen, but he was a free agent, and then we had problems because he had aging legs, right? I don't want us to do that. And I don't think that Ineos, they are definitely putting fillers out there, inquiries, and Villa is saying, no, he's not for sale. And you can sort of understand Villa, why they're saying that it's not for sale, because, hey, there's 3 weeks left of the window. And what they're going to do if they lose the striker all of a sudden? Panic. But what if Man United do like this? What if Man United do like this to RB Leipzig? Look, what is hypothetically speaking, what I said, it's not a clear fact. It's just me speaking, like hypothetically speaking. What if Manchester United decides to buy both Watkins and Cesco? That means that one player needs to go, and that is Rasmus Højlund. But what if part of this deal, the RBL deal, is to say, we give you Rasmus Højlund? That solves your problem. Rasmus Højlund to play for RB Leipzig in the, you know, Bundesliga. That could be one hypothetical solution. But as we say, this is speculations as from my side, and I want to sort of go in and check the poll. Let's see what you guys are saying. Neil in the house. Barca must pay the fine for bribing the refs before they talk. Don't forget the Ridge World Cup, 100%. Yeah, we do. We have a comment here from Robin Farrant. Cesco would be an advantage, especially with his strength, heading, and physical presence. Yeah, 100%. Right. Definitely, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. No, if listen, if you ask me the question, I said beggars cannot be choosers, right? I take both. I don't mind Watkins, but I don't want us to be in that situation that within 3 years we have the same problem like Casemiro or Ericsson, that we need to offload him and there's no resale value. And that's where I see it. And therefore I see Cesco as being the one for me. I know this profile. I know, I've been scouting him for years and years. I know his potentials, and a lot of people, they look at his stats from last season. I kept saying, well, you're not really looking at it with the final microscope details, right? If you compare him towards Mateta, if you compare him to Watkins, he's actually the better player. He played less minutes though, and he played out of position in a very poor RB Leipzig last season as well, where he was actually asked to play more deeper, like a hurricane to drop deep to bring in the ball. But he's such a good player of link up the play. He's a complete package, and he's got a lethal cannon in him right outside the 6-yard box. But more importantly, he's an aerodynamic master in the air, something that we don't miss. And he's got height. Watkins is not that high and tall. So if we're going to put crosses into the box, we have a very tall Cesco that is good in the air, and we're going to score shitloads of goals. I believe in Cesco. I believe that he is going to elevate us for many, many years. So, but Manchester United fans need to be patient in that way. Just let him develop. And that's what I believe, that by getting those Premier League proven players like Mbeumo and Cunha shapes who we want as the striker. We simply don't need to have everyone Premier League proven, And it goes back to what I said as well. If Manchester United were willing to put a bid in for Hugo Ekitike, which arguably they did before he said, no, I only want Liverpool, that means that we don't really need a Premier League proven striker anyway. So big up Roydon Frost is in house. Ben Jacobs as well said that Cesco has progressed well with the Magpies for personal terms. Well, Ben Jacobs has been talking a lot of Gaga lately as well. That's not true. I saw that report as well. So Ben Jacobs cannot have his fingers in the pie. Wasn't Ben Jacobs also that said that medical was booked for Mbeumo 3 weeks before? It wasn't. No. Yeah, I do. I read that report, and I see that the British media are trying to pivot towards the English striker. They love an English striker to lead Manchester United lines, right? I'm not going to say anything else, but I've seen the report, Royden, and I don't agree. I don't really agree. Let me just go and find it. Let me see what Ben Jacobs said. Yeah, he was speaking, but he was also speaking about talks ongoing for Royal Antwerp's St. Lemons, and something that we've been saying. He's just regurgitating the news, right? And he spoke yesterday as well. Let me just Manchester United. Yeah, here we go. Here's the tweet. If Manchester United wants Cesco, they are going to have to be quicker for Ollie Watkins because Newcastle advanced on the player's side. They're in club-to-club talks. They are ready to bid. I get the impression that this is going to be a big week for big pursuit of a number. Big week for the pursuit of a number 9, because if it's Cesco, Manchester United going to have to get moving. And then you have Fabrizio Romano to say different things. So listen, Ben Jacobs loves a piece of microphone.
Cesco and Watkins are the 2 names that Manchester United are actively working on.
Okay.
Benjamin Šeško and Ollie Watkins. Last week, again, talks were held with the Watkins side and with Aston Villa, even though some Villa sources tried to downplay it. And Manchester United asked the question and were told 60 million and a Villa preference to keep. So now, if Villa got a replacement or that price was to drop, Manchester United might go in that direction. Otherwise, Benjamin Šeško is still on the radar. Remember, 12 months ago, Manchester United made a pitch. Šeško decided to stay in Arsenal and Chelsea.
Listen, I do respect Ben. Right? He's a brilliant journalist, but it's just a lot of regurgitation use, copy and paste as well, and sometimes guesswork. And it's very good with the Saudi Pro League. I sort of give them hats off, but I just keep thinking, when was the last time he got anything correct? Like, he's not the journalist that is saying, here we go, or he's basically regurgitating what's going on there and putting fillers out there. And then you have Fabrizio Romano and Ornstein to totally kill it, right? So at the end of the day, yeah, let's go into this. I hope you could hear that. Let's go into the poll before I wrap up the stream, and we've gone over time. 1,000 people watching and 68 likes. Can we get the temperature higher? If you get watching this in retrospective, can we get 100 likes minimum? Well, other channels are getting 500 likes. Poll, very simple. Going to end this poll. We have over 100 votes. Would you pick? Who would you pick as number 9 for Amarin rebuild project? It was simple: Watkins or Cesco. Drum roll, you wouldn't believe it. 82% of you voted Cesco. That kills the debate. What you're thinking over Watkins is only 17%. That speaks volume. Thank you for voting. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for getting involved. I like the involvement. And guys, as per usual, what do you think? You know, I've been told that Cesco is not in a rush at the moment. He got both proposals from Newcastle and Manchester United. But at the end of the day, why would you go to Newcastle? There's nothing to do there, right? You will come to a bigger city like Manchester. You got plenty of things to do there. And it's the biggest club in the world. Anyway, I don't live in Cesco's mind. Whatever he decides, kudos for him. But big up for everyone that's coming in. Ash Jenkins in the house saying Cesco is a powerful and reminds me of Roy Van Persie. Yeah. I hope, I hope United move quick on this. But they don't really have to move. The thing is, if they manage to convince the player about the project and to say that I only want Man United, that means that Newcastle will get the snub. And that means that Manchester United can drag this on with terms of negotiation because it's one-way traffic only. And that means that they can get the price down as a strategy to £55 million, right, with installments. Anyway, guys, brilliant podcast and show today, this morning. I promise I usually go a morning update video with 10 minutes, but this time I had time to do a little bit live. If you want to become a member, you have, it's only €1 to become a member, and then you can see my uploaded membership video this morning. Guys, if you're a member, watch that membership video and you will understand what the hell I'm doing right here, right now. Anyway, beautiful people, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get it up to minimum 100. That is the free content. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I'm going to wrap this up, but as per usual, and otherwise I go bonkers. Yes, sir. Buckle up. This is a transfer window. Like, put your helmet on and safety gear, and you never know what's going to hit you at the end of the day, either in the nuts or solo practice or in the head. It's been Mick Ruby with the latest transfer news and updates, and also Fabrizio Romano providing his show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If something significant happened, I will come in and have my say. Thank you for watching. Glory, glory, Manchester United, and I'm out of here. Send it. Bye. Bye for now.